Okay, we're working on simplifying expressions. One of the things we need to make sure is know the difference between an expression and an equation. So in my class right now, you need to flip your paper over to the back, and I want you to write expression and equation. Okay, we have done things with equations like this. An equation has the equal to bar in it. Equation, equal, same thing. Just trying to help you remember that when it's an equation, it has an equal sign. The expression is when you just have something like 2 times x plus 2. Doesn't have an equal sign in it. It's just this to where we just need to simplify it. Now, we could have things that say in the green right here, this is an expression. It has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 terms. Terms are the individual things that we have written down. Then when you simplify, see this right here that I've just done is the unsimplified version. Then for the simplified, we're going to put together, in this case, our x's and our units. We'll talk more about it too, but we're going to be put together 2 minus 1x. 2 minus 1 is 1x. Then I have 4 plus 6, which is 10, minus 8, which is 2. Now I have 2 terms. When you hear me talk about terms, it's just the individual things that I've written down here. Simplifying means we're just going to put the things together that are alike. Again, reminding you on tiles, the little squares or the units are the ones. If they are colored in, they are going to be negative. And then the longer rectangles, those are x's. And if they're colored in, they're negative. Okay, so now let's look at number 1. Right here, it gives us an expression, 5x plus 2. If I want to draw them in algebra tiles, I'm going to draw 5 x's. So we need to draw 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then it says plus 2x. So I'll just draw 2 more x's. This is the unsimplified. Simplified means put them together. So how many total x's do I have? 7. So my answer is 7x because I add together 5x plus 2x. Now to check in the calculator, we're going to put the original problem into y1. So in y1, we're going to put 5x plus 2x. And in y2, we're going to put 7x. So let's go down to our handy dandy calculator and go to y equals. And in y1, I'm going to put 5x plus 2x. And in y2, I'm going to put what I think the answer is, 7x. Now, I'm going to press second graph. The way you know you're right when you check an expression is if all of y1 and y2, if these 2 columns are the same. Are all the numbers the same in y1 and y2? Do they look the same? Yes, they are. That's how you know you're correct. Okay, so you put them into y equals, you press second graph, and you look. So all the numbers in y1 equal y2 the whole way down. All right, let's look at number 3. Here we go. Let's go to number 3. Right here in the middle part is the tiles. We need to draw the tiles. So I have 4 x's. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Plus 2x. I've got 2 positive x's. And then plus 1. Looking at my unsimplified version, if I put together my x's, how many total x's do I have? Yeah, because 4x plus 2x is 6x. Then I have just this one unit. Are there any other units to put it together with? No, so we're going to put plus 1. So now to check, in y1, we're going to put the original, 4x plus 2x plus 1. And then in y2, we're putting what we think our answer is, 6x plus 1. So now when I go into the handy-dandy calculator, like Blue's Clues, handy-dandy notebook, 4x plus 2x plus 1. Then I'm going to arrow down and put in what I think my answer is, 6x. Now say I put in there a minus 1. If I press second graph, these two are not the same. So since they're not the same, that means I'm not right. So the first thing I would do is go back and check. Okay, well, there's my mistake. I put a minus 1 instead of a plus 1. You always make sure it's not an operator error at the beginning, meaning you screwed up putting in the buttons. So now I know I'm right because all of y1 and y2 are the same. Let's look at number 5. Number 5, there's my tiles. So what is it saying? What are these big ones? There's x's. There's 3x and 2 negatives, so it's minus 2. Can I go through and can this big one take away this small one? No, because they're not the same size. Is there anything I can put together or do? No, this is my answer. Okay? Another way that this could have been written in an unsimplified way, maybe they wrote x plus x plus x minus 1 minus 1. That means the same thing, right? So maybe that's what they wrote at first. So if we'd gone to check it, we could have put x plus x minus 1 minus 1. Whew, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 5 terms. And then when I simplify it, I go down to 3x minus 2. All right. Let's try number 7. Do number 7, please, right now. All right. Number 7. Drawing the tiles. I have 2x. And I have 5 negative x's. All right. Ugh. Let's see. There's 3. And there's 5. And then I have 4 negative units, some of the smaller ones. Now, to simplify, look, I'm going to take this right here. 2 minus 5. What's 2 minus 5? Negative 3x. Negative 3x. Now, what I'm doing over here with the tiles is I have a positive, it takes away a negative. Positive, it takes away a negative. This is where my 3x comes from. They're right there. Then I have minus 4. There's nothing that it goes with, so it just stays as minus 4. To check it, in y1, we'd put 2x minus 5x minus 4. And in y2, negative 3x minus 4. And then press second graph. Let's go to number 9. Oh, is there not a number 9? Hold on, let me double check the worksheet.
Yeah, there is.
All right, so looking at the other side, let's start over here on number 1 on the right-hand side. Now, this one, right here, it has parentheses on there. Well, when you have a number outside the parentheses, we're going to do what's called hippity-hoppity distributive property. So I'm going to take whatever's outside, multiply it by everything inside. So I have 2 times x, 2x, 2 times 3, plus 6. So to go and check it in the calculator, do it the exact same way we've been. Go to y equals 2 parentheses x plus 3, and then in y2, 2x plus 6. My friends need to focus and second graph. Again, you know you're right if these columns are the same, if y1 and y2 are the same. Okay, so now go and do number 3. Take a minute and try and do number 3. Same thing. Woo! How do we multiply a fraction? Well, I'm so glad I can tell you. We're going to take 1/3 times 3w. So, you can go into your home screen, and I'm going to put in there 1 divide 3. Look what I did. So to go through and do this, I'm going to take, look, I put 1/3 in the calculator, and then I'll take it times 3. And press enter. 1/3 times 3 is 1. So I have 1w, or just w. Then 1/3 times 9. I can go in here again and put in there 1 divide 3 and make it times 9. And then, so now when I multiplied it, now that is plus 3. Now, to go and check, I go to y equals, and I'm going to put in there 1 divide 3, parentheses, 3x plus 9. I put the original problem into y1. And in y2, I'm going to put x plus 3 and make sure I did it right. Second graph. If these two columns are the same, then that means I'm right. Now let's do number 5, please. On number 5, the number that is outside the parentheses, I have negative 3 times n, negative 3n. Negative 3 times negative 7 is positive 21. Then to check, you should have checked it in the calculator. Okay, now look at number 7. Number 7 adds in a few more steps. Think about order of operations. Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. Please is parentheses. So as I start and look up here, I've got a parenthesis, and what number is outside the parentheses? A 2. So you're going to take 2 times e and get 2e, 2 times 7 and get 14. Now, is the 5e or the 6, are they inside the parentheses? No. So you're just going to bring them down, plus 5e plus 6. Okay, so we did the distributive property first. Now put together the things that are alike. So I have 2e and 5e, which gives me 7e. And then I have 14 plus 6, which is 20. Now, to check, please make sure you go back, and this is one mistake. People try and do this first step and put that in there. Don't do that. Put the original problem into Y1 because you want to make sure you didn't make any mistakes. So 2 parentheses, you can't put E in, remember, x plus 7, parentheses, plus 5x plus 6. Then I'm going to go down to Y2 and put in there 7x plus 20. Right? What I think the answer is? Second graph, and I'm going to go and check and make sure these columns are the same. Well, yeah, you're asked about checking on the third step. Yes, you want to check the original and the final answer that you think it might be. Okay? All right, so now do number 9. Be very careful because it's tricky. All right, let's look at number 9. And there is a very common mistake that always happens. The biggest mistake is look and see when you're doing this. Did you take 6 times 4? Did you put 24? Did you take 6 times A? That's a mistake because that's not the number that is in front of the parentheses. Now, what you need to notice is that this 6 just comes down, is over here by itself. What is in front of the parentheses is a -1. So you're going to take -1 times 4 and get -4. -1 times -A. A negative times a negative is a positive A. Now, the -2A is outside the parentheses, so we just bring it down. So now we can put together the things that go together. And I have 6 minus 4, which is 2. Then I have A minus 2A. That's 1A minus 2, which is -1A or -A. You can write it this way or -A plus 2. Let's try this again. Flip your paper over to the back and try this. All right, try this one right here on the back and see how you do. So the first one right here, when you go and look, this 7 is not what's right next to the parentheses. I need to just bring the 7 down. What is right next to the parentheses is the -1. So I have -1 times 6, -6, -1 times 2A, -2A, and then this -7A just comes down. Now from here, put together 7 minus 6, 1. Then I have -2A minus 7A. -2 minus 7 is -9A. You can write it this way or -9A plus 1. If you switch the order of them, make sure that they have the correct sign with it. Here's another one just like it that we should be writing on the back. Oh, let me go back. Okay, well, let's see. I'll just move this down. All right, try this one. Here we go. Try this one. So when you're looking at this one of the first mistakes that is made is that people do this. They do 3 minus 2. You don't do that. You have to do parentheses first, but that is a very common mistake. So you bring down the 3 first, and then you have negative 2 times x, negative 2x, negative 2 times 4, negative 8, and then just bring down the minus 5. Okay, so now I just have that negative 2x. Then I have 3 minus 8, which is negative 5, minus 5, which gives me negative 10. To check it again, you should have put the original into y1, what we believe the answer is, into y2. Now let's go back over to our problems and go to number 11. I want you to try and do number 11 and 13 on your worksheet, but let's see. There's number 11. So try that now. All right, number 11. If you notice on number 11, there's 2 sets of parentheses. So the number that is right outside of the first parentheses, negative 4, you're going to take, whoa, no, I'm moving everything here. All right, you're going to take negative 4 times 3x. I get negative 12x. Negative 4 times negative 5, positive 20. Now, the second parentheses, there's another number out front of it. So I have negative 3 times 2, negative 6, negative 3 times 7x, negative 21x. Now you can go and put together your x's. Negative 12 and negative 21, that's negative 33x. And then you have 20 minus 6, and that's 14. Now, when you're checking in the calculator, be very careful of the signs that you use. See that? Oops. Why is that doing that? Don't do that. Okay. So now when you go in there and you look into y equals, when it's in the very beginning, that's a negative 4. Parentheses, 3x. In between the terms, that's a minus sign. And then this is in between things, so again, it's a minus sign, 3, parentheses, 2 plus 7x. Now, you have to realize that the only time you use the negative is when it's right out front of everything. In between terms, it's the minus sign over here on the side. So now down here for my answer, I have negative 33x plus 14. And then you can check it. Now, number 13, or not 13, how to jump to 16. What happened? I don't know. Whatever, this problem right here. It talks about simplifying expression. Laurel is simplifying expression. She thinks her answer is 10x minus 6. She puts the following in her graphing calculator to check it. She goes to the table and sees this screen right here. Is she right or wrong? Did she work it correctly? She is right, and how do you know? These 2 rows right here, because all the numbers in y1 equal y2. Okay, flip your paper over to the back again. Now, if I have a problem like this, the reason why we do the simplifying beforehand, I draw my equal to bar and I draw my line down. I multiply negative 2 times 4 and negative 2 times 6x. So now I have negative 2 times 4, negative 8, negative 2 times 6x, negative 12x, and I'll finish my equation. Okay, so the parenthesis part, that's what we've just been working on. Now it's a 2-step equation that we've done since the beginning of the year. Now we add 8 negative 12x equals negative 72. From here, you divide by negative 12, and x equals, is it 6? It's a positive 6 because a negative divided by a negative. Now the difference here, when we go to check an actual equation, okay, we're going to put the left-hand side into y1, the right-hand side into y2. So as I go into my handy-dandy calculator, and I'm going to put in there negative 2, parentheses, 4 plus 6x, and then go down to y2 and put in there negative 80. Now, the difference here is you're not looking for all the rows to be the same. You're looking for this one spot where x is 6 for it to be the same. And right here, see how it says negative 80, negative 80? That means that my answer of 6 is right. So when you're solving an equation, you're looking for a one spot. When you're solving an expression, you're looking for all of y1 and y2 to be the same. You need to complete the rest of this assignment.